Spider can't swim. But he wants to. What does Elvis want to do?
Elvis wants to do swim.
Swim. Elvis wants to swim. What is Elvis?
Elvis the spider.
Well, of course, Elvis is a spider. How many legs does Elvis have?
It's just check it.
8, just checking. Okay, Elvis has 8 legs. Because?
Because Elvis the spider.
He's a spider, of course. Elvis has 8 legs because he's a spider. Elvis the spider has a problem. What is his problem?
See,
His problem
he can't
is
swim.
he can't swim. Poor Elvis, he can't swim. He wants to swim. In fact, he wants to swim a very long way. Does he want to swim a short way or a long way?
Long way. Elvis,
A long way. He wants to swim a very long way. How far does Elvis, the spider, want to swim?
He wants to swim across the Arctic
Obviously,
Ocean.
he wants to swim across the Atlantic Ocean. Oh. So where does Elvis live?
Elvis lives in London. He's a British
Well,
spider.
Elvis lives in London. He's a British spider. Which city does he live in? New York?
No, London.
No, London. Elvis the spider lives in London, and he has a problem. He can't swim. Where does he want to swim to?
He wants to swim to New York City.
He wants to swim to New York City. Who wants to swim to New York City?
Elvis the spider.
Elvis the spider. From where?
London.
Well, from London. He wants to swim to New York City from London. Can he swim now?
No. Can swim now.
No. Elvis can't swim now. He can't
He
swim
can't
now,
swim
but
now, but
he wants to swim from London
to New
to
York.
New York City. So he decides, I'm going to practice. What does he decide to do?
He decides to practice.
To practice. He decides to practice. Where does he practice?
In the North Sea.
In the North Sea. He practices in the North Sea. What does he practice in the North Sea?
He practices swimming.
Swimming. He practices swimming in the North Sea. So Elvis the dog practices swimming in the North Sea.
Yes.
No, not the dog.
Not the dog.
Elvis the spider,
The
of
spider.
course. Elvis the spider practices swimming in the North Sea. He tries to swim, but he has another problem. It's very cold in the North Sea. Is it hot? Is it warm?
No, it's
No,
cold.
it's cold. It's very cold in the North Sea. Is the North Sea hot or cold?
Cold.
Oh, it's cold. It's very cold in the North Sea. Elvis freezes. Does he freeze? Is he very, very cold?
Yes.
Yes, he freezes. Where does he freeze?
In the North Sea. In the
In
North
the
Sea.
North Sea, of course. He freezes in the North Sea. And he almost drowns. Does Elvis almost die?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. He
He
almost
almost
drowns.
drowns.
He almost
Almost
goes under the water. forever? Why does he almost drown? Because he's freezing. It's so cold, he can't swim.
Can't swim.
Does Elvis swim successfully or not?
Lot.
Not. He does not swim successfully. He almost drowns. He almost dies. So next he decides, I know. I will go to the gym. I will go to the YMCA and swim in the pool. Why does he go to the YMCA pool? Why? What's his purpose?
The practice swim.
His purpose is to practice
Practice swim.
for swimming from London to New York. What does he want to practice for? He wants to practice for swimming from London to New York. What is his purpose? What is his reason for practicing?
His purpose.
Oh,
From London
swimming
to
from
New York.
London to New York. That's his ultimate purpose. So what is his ultimate purpose? What is his final goal?
His ultimate, his final goal.
His ultimate. His final purpose
from New
is
York
to
to
swim
New York.
from London to New York. Is his ultimate purpose to swim from London to Rome?
No.
No, that's not his ultimate purpose. His
From
ultimate purpose is to swim from
London to
London
New York.
to New York. What does he want to swim across?
Across the Atlantic Ocean.
Across the
To
Atlantic
New York.
Ocean to New York. Does he want to swim across New York?
No. To
Not across
To
New
New
York.
York.
To New York. Does he want to swim to the Atlantic Ocean?
no. Across the Atlantic Ocean.
No, he wants to swim across the Atlantic Ocean. Is that his ultimate purpose?
Yes.
Yes, it is. It's his final reason for practicing. His ultimate purpose is to swim from London to New York. Whose ultimate purpose is it?
Elvis the spider.
Elvis the Spider. It's Elvis's ultimate purpose. So every day he goes to the pool, and every day he visualizes arriving in New York. Every day does he imagine himself arriving in New York?
Yes. Every day.
Yes.
He
Every day
visualizes.
he visualizes.
He imagines.
Himself
Himself
arriving in New York. Every day does he see himself in his mind arriving in New York successfully. Yes, absolutely. He
absolutely.
visualizes.
He
Every day he visualizes. He imagines. He sees. Every day he visualizes himself arriving in New York. All his 8 legs swimming across the Atlantic, arriving in New York. What does he visualize?
He visualizes. Arriving
He
in New York.
visualizes arriving in New York City. How often does he visualize this?
Every day. Every day. He visualizes.
Every day.
Arriving
Every day
to New
he
York.
visualizes arriving in New York. He sees it clearly, vividly
Vividly.
in his head. Does he visualize vividly?
Yes.
Yes, he does. He
He
visualizes
visualizes.
vividly.
Vividly.
He visualizes powerfully, clearly, and colorfully. Vividly. How does he visualize?
He visualizes.
Vividly. He
vividly,
vividly
very
sees himself
arriving
in New York City.
City.
Does he vividly imagine success?
Yes, very.
Oh, yes, very clearly,
very clear, very powerfully,
very powerfully,
very colorfully,
very colorfully.
vividly.
He sees success. He imagines success. He vividly visualizes arriving in New York. And he practices every day. Where does he practice swimming every day?
In the North
At the
Sea.
YMCA. Every day he practices swimming at the YMCA pool. He swims with all his 8 legs in the pool. Swimming every day. Swimming and visualizing. Swimming and visualizing. Swimming and visualizing. He sees in his head arriving in New York. And he swims in the pool. Swims in the pool. Finally, the day comes. He jumps into the Atlantic. And he starts swimming. Swimming towards New York City. After 15 days, he's still swimming. Sharks try to attack him. He hits them with his legs, and he escapes. Storms come, bad weather, rain. He continues to swim. Ultimately, and finally, he arrives in New York City. He is successful. The mayor of New York City gives him the key to the city. They have a big parade for Elvis to celebrate his success. What does Elvis ultimately do?
He ultimately
He ultimately
arriving
is
in New York.
successful. He ultimately arrives in New York City. He ultimately swims from London to New York City. He finally swims from London to New York City. Who is ultimately successful?
Elvis the Spider.
Elvis. Elvis the Spider is ultimately successful.
Has problem, has difficulty,
He has problems.
and
He has
Ultimately.
difficulties. But ultimately, but finally, he is successful. That is the end of the mini story.